this is Nomi Shannon, the Raw Gourmet. Today I thought I'd make pizza for you. And I am not starting from scratch. I'm starting with some bread that I made a while back that's dehydrated. And it's a little hard to show a dehydrated recipe, but I don't have it posted at my website, but I can. If you email me and you want this recipe, let me know. It's the onion bread recipe, and I did adapt this recipe from both the book and the Restaurant Revolution by Matt Amsden. I found the original recipe to be very salty to my palate and quite oily, so I tweaked it a few times. And how you make this is you grind flaxseed, you grind flax seeds and sunflower seeds. You don't soak them or anything first. And then you put that in a bowl with just tons and tons and tons and tons of thinly sliced onion and some namashoyu and a little bit of olive oil. And you get a thick batter, and then you spread that. This I spread rather thickly, this about a quarter of an inch, so it came out. I also add, not part of the original recipe, besides changing like the amounts of the different items, I added both dates and raisins. It doesn't taste sweet at all. But what they did is they gave it more of a flexible feel to it, so it's more like bread. And also, even though you don't taste the sweetness, using all the taste, sweet, salty, that kind of thing, bitter, I forget them all offhand, there's 5 of them. Whether you taste them or not, it adds a completeness to the flavor. So adding sweetness, to me, really made this. So I'll make them every few months, and they'll last me. Sometimes I'll send some to my daughter because they are, of course, also gluten-free, so that's helpful. So I already had that made up. And then I made this the other night. This is a hummus, but there's no chickpeas in it. This is made from essentially zucchinis and tahini. And I actually don't have that recipe to share, but I will make it soon, a zucchini hummus, so that you'll see how to make it as well. But you can use any kind of pate or even store-bought hummus if you're not all raw. So this is going to be my cheese. I do have a way to make a fabulous simple cheese with cashews and water and nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast makes food taste very cheesy. It's not raw, but it gives a wonderful flavor. But this is what I have in the house, and this is lunch, and I don't want to mess around. I just want to take things I've got in the refrigerator and throw something together. This looks like a good one. So then I'll add traditional tomato-ness to the pizza. You want to always have a knife that will easily slice through tomato skin. If you don't have a knife in your house that easily slices through a tomato skin, you either need to buy a knife sharpener or a new set of knives. The reason I'm cutting these, it's for aesthetics. It's so if you want to pick it up in your hand, you won't have trouble biting into the pizza because it's got big, huge chunks of tomato. Now, the bread is quite salty, and actually so is the hummus, so just going to put a teeny tiny bit of salt on the tomatoes. And my very favorite spice, this is called Frontier Pizza Spice. I have to drive quite far to get it. I can't recommend this highly enough because anything you make that you want to taste like Italian food, including salad, this will do the trick. It's a combination of different herbs and spices. So I'm going to be really liberal with this because it just gives a wonderful Italian vibe to it. And then there's nothing like basil. If you're lucky enough to live near a Trader Joe's, look at all this basil for like $2.79 or something like that. This is organic. I actually know the farm this is grown on. It's grown in Mexico, but it's an all-organic farm. So that's a good thing. But I'll be honest with you, sometimes I go there and the regular non-organic, which is usually 40 cents or so less, looks better, and so I get one of those. So what I want to do is make a chiffonade. That's simply a kind of a slice. And I do want to have a clean board for that. So the easiest way to make a chiffonade is to take several leaves and stack them on top of each other. For this little pizza, I'm sure that 3 will be enough. And then you roll it up just like you would a cigar. You cut off the ends and discard them, and then you slice through very thin, less than 1/4 inch. And you will see that you get lots of long, thin pieces, and these are called chiffonade. Now this is kind of a small little pizza to put all those long slices on, so I'm just going to bunch it up and give it another rough chop so that the bits will be smaller. And I don't know, who doesn't love basil? I love basil. So I want to put all of it on there. And then it would be nice, I have some very flavorful raw olives, to put some little olive bits on my pizza too. Any old way. Whatever you have in the refrigerator that looks good can go on your pizza. And if you have gone through the time and the trouble, that's my secretary, don't let it bother you, barking, to make this bread in advance. And you know, I'm sure you can buy a similar bread at, you know, the bigger markets like Whole Foods that sell raw food. And if you live in New York City, go to, what is it called? I was just going to tell you what it's called. It's a wonderful place in New York City. There's several, but this is a health food store that has aisles and aisles of pre-made raw food. I can't think of it. If I can think of it before this video ends, I will tell you, and if I can't, I'll tell you in another one. And for good health and to look pretty, here's some lovely organic microgreens that I'll just top it off with. And there you have a wonderful, wonderful lunch made in just a few minutes with things you already have in the house. This is Nomi Shannon, the Raw Gourmet, rawgourmet.com, yourrawfooddiet.com. I hope you have a great raw day.